Happy Saturday morning. This is Chris Lee of Southeastern 14 with I'm on vacation edition, although not much longer. We're leaving for America this morning, Saturday morning, but tried to keep tabs on the NCAA baseball tournament on Friday night. Sometimes it was easier said than done, but we do the best we can. And let's start in Fayetteville, where Arkansas had a difficult time the first time through the order against Santa Clara. But boy, from that point on, the Hogs had it rolling. Arkansas wound up with, I think it was something like 13 hits, and it seemed like everybody hit. Josenberger had a home run, but even Rowland and Bolton, the light hitting end of the bottom of the order, combined for 4 RBIs. I guess the only negative for this one in Arkansas, you would have liked to have seen more from Hunter Holland. He went 2 1/3 innings through 49 pitches, gave up 2 runs, and I was not able to watch that one, so I don't know what happened there exactly. Getting ESPN down here in Mexico is a little difficult, so you do the best you can. Some moments it works and some it doesn't. But anyway, Arkansas finishes with a strong 13-5 win over Santa Clara. Will McIntyre, I guess, sort of the hero in that one. He goes 5 innings, and Adcock finished that one. Arkansas meets TCU on Saturday in a winner's bracket game that should be interesting. In Clemson, one of the most eagerly watched regionals out there, you saw the Vols take care of business, hammering Charlotte early and often. Big story in this one, Andrew Lindsey, who was formerly at Charlotte, didn't play baseball last year, sat out a year after leaving Charlotte, and he transfers to Tennessee. He's been their number one starter, and I think maybe the most underrated player in the SEC this year. I don't know that you hear Andrew Lindsey talked about as an all-SEC type pitcher, but man, he was this year. He made our first team of 3 pitchers. He goes 7 innings, gives up 1 earned run, strikes out 10. Tony Vitello did the mix and match from there on with, I think he threw 4 more guys to get the last 6 outs. Not really sure why he did that, but he did, and it worked just fine. The Vols move on to play Clemson. You had Merritt and Moore hit home runs, and that Tennessee-Clemson game, after Clemson had some difficulties with Lipscomb, should be interesting on Saturday. Florida rolled the dice through Jac Caglianone against Florida A&M, probably one of the worst 2 or 3 teams in the field. Worked just fine. Caglianone, who did not throw well last time out in the SEC tournament against Vanderbilt, was back to good Jac Caglianone. He throws 6 innings, gives up no runs, 7 strikeouts. And if you're Florida, getting your number 3 pitching in your opener and getting a shutout win, that's a pretty big lift, because now you've got Sproat and Waldrop left for 2 more games, and that may be all you need, the way Florida plays offensively and the way it can also pitch when its good guys are good, and one of its good guys was good on Friday. Rivera hits a home run for the Gators. Florida now will play Texas Tech in what I think is another eagerly anticipated matchup on Saturday. In my hometown of Nashville, Vanderbilt routs Eastern Illinois 12-2. Vandy falls behind 1-0 early, comes back with 2 in the bottom of the first, and kind of rolls from there. Devin Futrell and Thomas Schultz combined for 12 strikeouts and 148 pitches, but Vandy needs just 2 arms to get through a pretty easy opening night win. Davis Diaz and Jonathan Vastine homered for the Commodores, who will meet Oregon on Saturday night. Alabama, in probably the most dramatic game of the night, beats Nichols. Jim Jarvis hits a walk-off single, I believe it was, in that one in the 9th inning for Alabama to beat a team that beat LSU early in the season. Nichols not a pushover for. Luke Holman, I guess the big story here, he goes 6 innings, gives up 2 earned runs. Alabama had just 6 hits, but Matt Gassett hits a home run in that one. Their second catcher, basically. Alabama moves on and will face in-state rival Troy in a winner's bracket game. Troy, the 3 seed down there. So Alabama catches a little bit of a break, I guess you'd say, in its Saturday night game. Texas A&M, I think, was behind Fullerton early, if I remember that right. Cedillo goes 4 innings, gives up no runs to kind of throw a bridge outing for the Aggies, whose pitching was really, really good in Hoover. And I guess that was the story there. Anytime you get a guy that can go multiple innings and not give up a run in this college baseball environment, that's a good thing. The Aggies really hit the ball. Targach hit another home run. He was kind of cold most of the season, but came on a little bit late, it seemed like. Jack Moss had 3 hits for the Aggies, who beat Fullerton 12-7. Now we'll play Stanford in another really good game. Boy, we got a lot of good games on Saturday and Saturday night, and that'll be one I look forward to seeing how that one pans out. LSU beats Tulane 7-2. I guess the biggest thing in this is the Tigers roll the dice. Well, they didn't roll the dice in terms of facing Tulane. It's more down the line what happens. And I think that's the big question for everybody. You figured LSU could get by Tulane. You would hope with any pitcher. But the Tigers take no chances in this one. They throw Paul Skenes the distance. He throws 124 pitches, strikes out 12. And so he goes the distance, saving the bullpen for that Oregon State game tonight, which should be a slugfest. Dylan Cruz goes 3 for 5 in that one for LSU. The first game of the day involving SEC teams, and really one of the better ones. Kentucky and Ball State was a 1-0 game, I think, until the 9th, or maybe it was the 8th, when Kentucky, I guess, I don't know if small balled is the right way to say it, but gets some runs. Devin Burks hit a home run to give Kentucky its only lead in that one, or its first lead, I guess I should say. They go up 1-0 early in that one, and that was good enough because the pitching combo of Travis Smith and Mason Moore goes 5 innings. In that one, Kentucky beats a Ball State team that's not a real easy out as a 4 seed, has got some pitching, but the Cats – that's kind of a tough spot when you're playing your first NCAA tournament as a host in a long time. That's a lot of times a spot where teams just kind of choke or feel the pressure or whatever. But the Cats in the Lexington Dormitory Regional march on and will face Indiana, not in a basketball game, but in a baseball game in Lexington in the winner's bracket of that one. Okay, South Carolina, a team that a lot of people didn't think should host. I did. The Gamecocks in that one get some guys back. Cole Messina was back. McGillis was back. McGillis hits a home run, goes 2 for 3. Ethan Petrie hits a home run. South Carolina pounds out 16 hits and takes 14 walks in this one. James Hicks, I guess, maybe the biggest story in that one. Again, anytime you can get pitching, that is something you value. And he goes 5 innings, faces just 16 hitters. That's 1 over the minimum. Will Sanders comes in, gives him an inning. I don't know what the plans are for Sanders. He's been a little dicey lately. I guess that was just a test the waters and get him some time on the hill and see how it goes. But Carolina routs Central Connecticut 19-1, and now will face NC State in a winner's bracket game. Okay, there was one loser in the SEC on Friday night, and that was Auburn, which just didn't find the bats at any point in this game. That game was 3-all going to extra innings. Penn gets 3 runs in the 11th. I think had 3 consecutive bunt singles, if I heard that correctly. Will Cannon gets charged with all 3 runs. Chase Alsop for Auburn was good, goes 5 innings, gives up 1 run, strikes out 7. The bullpen, not so good. Auburn had just 4 hits in that one, 2 of those by freshman star Ike Irish. Now, we thought Auburn and Southern Miss, a matchup there in the Auburn Regional, not out of the question. We just didn't think it would be in the loser's bracket. That's what we're going to see on Saturday. Okay, I'll be back in the States if all goes according to plan as of Saturday night, and hopefully the coverage will be a little bit more consistent. Need to take some time off every now and then. That's what I did. We brought a couple of videos down here to you from Mexico, but in any case, we'll be back to wrap up Saturday's action probably Sunday morning and continue to have you covered throughout the NCAA tournament in Omaha as long as SEC teams are playing. I'm Chris Lee of Southeastern 14. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon with more SEC baseball coverage.